Today's episode is brought to you by Source Forensics. Are you looking for a video conversion service? Well, look no further because I got one for you. If you are looking for fast, efficient, and honest, Source Forensics is your go-to. Since 2003, they have been converting weddings, baptisms, sports, and other videos. They have become a reputable and well-known video conversion service. Their team is up for every job, managing projects with the skill and experience their clients have come to expect. They want their customers to be satisfied with their work, which is why they provide open communication channels throughout the duration of each project. Trust Source with all your precious memories stored on various legacy formats, VHS tapes, DVDs, CDs, mini DVDs, cassettes, old vinyl, and 35mm slides. Whatever the job is, they got you covered. Contact them at 401-203-5019. Again, that's 401-203-5019. Or visit their website at www.sourceforensics.com. Again, that's www.sourceforensics.com. Now for our episode. All right, on today's show, I welcome on a very special guest. He is Coach Brandon DiPaola, the head coach of North Smithfield boys basketball team. Coach, how are you today?
Good. How's it going?
I'm doing well, Coach. I got your last name right. I was a little nervous about that
Yeah,
one.
That was good. That was good. You killed it.
Yeah. Didn't have to think about that one too hard. Coach, how are you holding up during these COVID times?
Yeah, not bad. Trying to get through it all. Stay positive. It's crazy. So many people lost their jobs or lost loved ones. So for me, I just feel like I'm blessed. I still have a job and try not to complain too much and get through it best I can. So
That's good. Yeah, it's been such a weird year with everything that's going on, and just I'm glad that you're healthy and family's healthy and everyone's been safe and you still have your job, and that's all good news, right?
Yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Coach. I want to ask you, before we get into your coaching career, how did you really start to fall in love with the game?
Yeah, so I probably started playing ball when I was like 8 or 9, kind of a late bloomer. I actually only played basketball, didn't really play any other sports. So I was a junkie, AAU season into high school season, summer league, fall AAU, spring AAU. I wasn't the smartest bulb, so, it's kind of my getaway. Basketball was my love and my passion. And some of my buddies would always bust me up about it. It was like I would break up with my girlfriend once it was basketball season. And that's kind of where I started falling in love with it. Right around 10 years old, really got into it. Played AAU for the Rhode Island Hawks, which was a great organization back in the day. Had a lot of fun with that. Then played high school basketball at Coventry High School. So we had a lot of success there. We basically had our same core group of guys since we were like 8 or 9, doing travel ball and playing in different rec leagues together. We would always play pickup after school. We had a really close knit group. We actually made it to the Final Four my junior and senior year. Never made it to the championship, but we had some good teams. And after that, I went on to play college ball at Elmira, which was a blast. But so it really started right around 8 or 9 and just kind of carried on. It's still happening now. Still got a love and passion for it.
That's awesome. And now, I love that you broke up with your girlfriends because the basketball season was starting up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's true
no
love. That's true love of the sport.
Yep, no time.
So, what was your time like playing at Elmira? To play there, and what was it like?
Yeah, so it was a blast. My freshman year, it was a culture shock for sure. Like going from small Rhode Island, for the most part, you're probably best player, second best player on your team. Actually, my senior year had another guy, Trevor D'Amico, who ended up playing at Springfield as well. So he was a really good player. So he went on to play in college. But for the most part, you're going to be your top dog at your high school. When you go to college, it's you literally, whether it's D3, D2, it doesn't really matter. You're joined with every single player is their best player at their high school. So it was definitely a culture shock for me. And I think it was kind of it taught me a lot about myself. Also, you're not going to go in there and get 20 shots a night. You're not going to play all the minutes you want to. You have to accept your role. And, it kind of took me back at first. My freshman year, when I first got there, I didn't get to play a lot at all. I got pushed to third string. So I basically wasn't even really involved in the practices, was kind of on the sideline, would do the drills and all that, and realized that my role was going to be on defense. And, that's the only way that I was going to get out there. And actually towards the end of my freshman year, I actually got to start a few games, had some success. But just like college is so different. Like in high school, exactly what's coming up. Like if I'm a sophomore, I know there's freshman classes behind me, or I'm a junior, like it's my time now. Like I'm going to play. In
Yeah.
college, like you don't know what's coming in.
Yeah.
In my sophomore year, our coach, he was like his third year on the job, and he brought in 14 freshmen.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, and they were very good players, and some of my best friends actually. But two of the guys, one of them actually ended up coaching with me at North Smithfield. Actually, both of them did, but one was the all-time leading three-point shooter at the school. So it's literally like, you're not going to be able to compete. And it was the first thing that kind of shocked me, like, hey, he's better than you. Like, find your role. And my junior and senior year there, actually was captain of the team without even playing. Like, I really didn't play much, but I found my niche and had a lot of fun just bringing the guys together. And we had a great group of guys, and we got to travel all over the place. We went to Florida my senior year. It was a blast. It was a blast. I recommend, if anyone has a chance to play it, whether it's D3 or not, you're just like the experience you get, the gear, and just the whole experience of playing college basketball. It was so much fun.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And I like the fact that you brought up you brought up the fact that like, if you're in college, you don't know who's coming in or who's going to be this
Yeah.
player, and then you have to accept a different role than what you're used to. I think that just shows what kind of a team guy you are, and I think well that translates as a coach as well too.
Yeah, it was crazy because, I think that's the hardest thing. Like a lot of the kids that, I coached AAU, and a lot of the kids that went on to play in college, I think that's like the first thing that they don't understand is like when you're a freshman in college, you're probably not going to play. Like it's a big jump. It's kind of like going from like middle school to high school. Like not many freshmen start playing unless you're really a special player.
Yeah.
So when you come into college, like you have to, understand the system, the role. And I think a lot of kids go from being, they never get out of the game in high school, and now they go to college, and it's an absolute shock. So I had to learn it for sure, but it was a great experience for me and taught me a lot. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I think and what was the speed like too? Like I know there's an adjustment of speed too. Like what's that like?
the physical play and the speed of the game was literally night and day. Like
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story. My first practice. So I was point guard in high school, obviously thinking I could do the same thing in college. I come down, and the starting point guard was a senior captain, picks me right away. So obviously he's faster than me.
Yeah.
Next time down, I kind of tried to use my body, spin off him. He literally just bodies me. I fall to the ground. He picks me again, right in for a layup. That was it. That was how I started the year, and that was it. I just went to third string after that. Didn't get to play for a good month, literally
Wow.
a good month. It was a culture shock because at first you're like, you could do the same things you did in high school. And the speed of the game, everyone's big, everyone's over 200 pounds, 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Like our point guard was like 6'2".
Wow.
So it's just a big difference, but yeah, it was a bunch of fun though.
That's awesome. That's a great experience. And yeah, it's true. If you get an opportunity to play in college, I think anyone should jump on it no matter what this is, wherever you play. It's a good opportunity, good
Yeah,
experience, once in a lifetime experience too.
yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. And how did you decide to get into coaching?
So yeah, so basically right after I graduated from Elmira, I came back home, and just started missing the game. It was kind of like a weird time. Like there's nothing to prep for, no next level. So that summer, I applied to be the freshman coach at Portsmouth.
Mhm.
So shout out to Joe Ochi, the head coach there. He actually gave me an opportunity because obviously I had no coaching experience. I was fresh out of college. I had no idea what I was doing, but he gave me the job at Portsmouth. So as the freshman coach, which is pretty cool. So I start researching the team. I'm like, all right, well, let's see what I have coming in. Well, come to find out, the freshmen that were coming up was going to be the team who just went undefeated. It had Cole Swider, who's now playing at Villanova.
Yeah. Yeah.
It had Chris Herron, who is now at San Diego, that was at BC last year.
Yeah.
so that was the team I was going to coach. So I was like hyped. I'm like, this is crazy. And
Yeah.
then like obviously those guys aren't going to play freshman team.
Yeah.
So, so,
Yeah.
so like I found out that quick. But so Chris Herron actually ended up reclassing. Cole went right up to varsity. I think he averaged like 25 as a freshman.
My God.
He was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
he still is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
It's a great player.
great, awesome kid too. Awesome kid. Both of them, Chris and Cole, awesome kids. But yeah, so I coached my the first year at Portsmouth. We actually did really well, even after losing them. We had a great group of guys. I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was a lot of fun. Freshmen, like they're just playing hard and having fun with their friends. We actually made it the state championship. So we only had one loss on the season. We made it state championship. We lost to LaSalle.
Oh,
So
wow.
we always call ourselves public school state champs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it counts for something, right?
Yeah, it does.
But,
Definitely
yeah,
does.
yeah. So that was really it. After that, so I did that for 1 year, and the commute was pretty tough. It was 2-hour ride, there and back.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of steered me away from. But honestly, I would have kept coaching freshmen. Like if it was a little bit closer, I loved Portsmouth. It was so much fun. In freshman basketball, it's just like it's a blast. Like the kids there's no distractions. There's no girls, there's no cars, there's no different distractions that you get as upperclassmen. It's just like, oh, I want to have fun, play basketball, and there's no stats or anything else. So it's literally all the kids care about is winning.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was so much fun. But after that, I ended up applying for the JV coaching job at North Smithfield, and so I got the coaching job. I was going to coach under TJ, who was a great coach at North Smithfield, and he ends up leaving the day, I think it was the week before tryouts.
Wow.
So I was expecting to be his JV coach, learn under him for a few years. Obviously, like you have to work your way up. So he left to go take a job at Woonsocket, which can't blame him for that. It's a great opportunity, and he did really well over there.
Yeah.
But I was kind of bummed out because I was hoping to learn from him, because I was still a new coach. I had only coached for 1 year.
Yeah, yeah.
But so then I ended up applying for the varsity job just because I was already there. And so kind of lucked out, and I got the varsity job, I coached with one of my buddies from Elmira that actually moved down here. He's from Michigan, but he moved down here. So me and him, he got a job at CVS. So like CVS corporate. So he moved down here once we graduated, and so me and him were coaching together, and then Coach K got the JV job. So that's how I met Kay, and we all just kind of like bucked up. We were running the team that first week of tryouts, and we weren't the coaches. Like it wasn't like anything wasn't official. So, but we kind of pushed through. It was kind of a weird situation for your first year as varsity coach, but definitely like wasn't expecting anything, but we got through it.
That's crazy. That's going to be such a crazy jump from like going from like a freshman coach 1 year all the way to a varsity coach the following year, but like expecting to like learn from someone. So you just like took over like a whole program in one quick shot.
Yeah. To say I was like out of place, it was, is an understatement. Like I had, I was hoping to learn, like, just, you have to move your way up, but it was kind of good. Sometimes it's good to get thrown in the fire and, just kind of ride with it and see what happens. Coach K was like, he's such a veteran coach that he helped me out a lot throughout the whole first year. Cause he knew what he was doing. He had been, coaching freshmen and coaching soccer for a few years before that. So he helped me out big time. And, we kind of all had like a close knit bond with us coaches. So it was a lot of fun. Honestly, we had a blast. We had a really good team our freshman year, our first year there, but we had moved down to or up to Division II. So it was kind of like bad timing. But it was fun.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, Coach K or Ski or Eric is probably a great coach and just one of the nicest guys out there. And I'm glad that you guys work together and you have a good assistant coach with him and everything like that. That's awesome that he's able.
He's turned into like one of my best friends. He's awesome. We've been coaching now for going on our 6th year together. So
wow.
So it's crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's crazy. So what's it like when you take over a program? How do you like create your own culture there and, carry that forward as well as like, using your coaching philosophy as well?
Yeah. It was tough, especially that first year. Didn't really have an opportunity to plan for it. Like I said, we had moved up to Division II. The school had moved up because 2 years before we took over, they had the undefeated season where North Smithfield was unbelievable, where TJ brought them all the way to the Final Four of the state tournament. So
Yeah.
they had a really good team. So the culture shock of kind of coming in, now we're in D2, we know we're probably not going to be able to compete every night, trying to rebuild and like get guys to trust you, plus being young. It was tough for sure, but
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, like, we try to be a player's coach. Like, I think that's like the biggest thing that we try to do all the time. Like, we'll jump into drills with them, show them how to defend screens, show them how to pop curl fade off down screens. We go in, we'll play with them. We always scrimmage. We try to do different things like that. Also try to like build that whole family atmosphere. We'll have the kids over at my house and we'll have 2K tournaments, which they love. After practice, we'll have like a dodgeball tournament, or sometimes we like lower the rims and we'll have a little like 2-on-2, full court, like dunking on each other.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, probably shouldn't do that, but it's
Yeah.
a blast.
It's
But
still fun. It's fun. You got to make fun. You make fun of it.
yeah, you got to make fun, and like I think the kids appreciate it. And like the biggest thing that we try to, like, Kay and myself, we're always saying, you have to teach them life lessons. At the end of the day, most of these kids probably won't pick up a ball again. And the ball stops bouncing for all of us one day. So, for me, luckily it's still going with coaching, but for a lot of these kids, it's like after high school, that's it. Maybe they'll play in some men's league and stuff. So, I mean, basketball's taught me so much. So we try to like preach to them, like, push through tough times, whether it's, you know, 2 losses in a row, or you have to run a suicide or a 16 again. And then just kind of like understanding your role. Like I was talking about, my experience with college, not everyone's going to be a CEO of a company. So like everyone has to understand that, you might not always be the top dog. So you can't get all the shots, you can't play all the minutes, but understanding your role and knowing that, if we all do our part, we come together as a team and we could be successful. I think just kind of like instilling that in the guys and trying to build that culture and that philosophy. I think we've done a really good job, and Kay has been crazy with that, and he's always had my back, and we're always on the same page, whether it's, Coach Josh, who came in after my buddy Kurt, and now we have Coach Ant, who was the rec league director. He runs all like the travel programs of the town. Now he's our JV coach, and Coach K's the varsity assistant. So like we've always had really, really good coaches. So that also helps with the philosophy. When everyone's on the same page, it makes it easy. It makes it easy on me.
That's awesome. That sounds like such a great culture that you've built over there. And I love that you make it fun for the kids, but like I also like that you try to teach the life lessons, because you're right. It's a lot of times that, once the ball's done bouncing, you're either in a men's league or you're just trying to find your way into coaching or do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's tough. It's like we've had so many good kids come through, and like we, still stay in touch with all of them. And it's just fun to like, the biggest thing with coaching, like I think everyone could agree, is like the reward you get is, when you teach someone something and you see them do it out there, or you show someone and they come back 2 years, 3 years later, and they're saying, "Hey coach, now I understand what you're saying." Like they might not get it when you're yelling at them now, because they're 16, 17 years old. They're not going to understand what I'm talking about. Like, embrace the moment. Like they're going to be like, okay, yeah, like I still have a few games left. But I'll tell you a quick story about it. A guy a couple of years ago, we had a player, phenomenal kid, Steve Goulet. He 1,000-point scorer, all division. He very good kid, awesome kid. He ends up, so I would always preach to him, embrace the moment, man. It's gonna end just like that. Your senior year, it's gonna be over. He was on pace to be the leading scorer in school history at North Smithfield. 9 games left, he breaks his ankle.
No, that sucks.
Yep, 9 games left, breaks his ankle. He ended up finishing like 4th. It's devastating, but like those are those things that we try to preach to them. So it's like he probably didn't know that was going to be his last game, but at the same time, it's like you try to tell the kids, like, you never know when it's going to end. And like last night we had our preseason meeting, and we were kind of going over like the whole COVID and how things are going to be different. And I was telling the kids, I'm like, normally we say that, and like, we're more talking about like, if you get hurt or something happens. Like now it's literally like, you never know. Like we have a season right now, but like tomorrow it could end.
Yeah, yeah, that could be it.
Like we could play our first game and then someone tests positive from the other team even, and now we're out. And it's so crazy. So just trying to like make them understand the moment, and also make them understand that this is fun. Like this is like, I mean, like high school sports are the best.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it's
you
so much
never
fun.
get this back. It's
Yeah, yeah,
awesome.
exactly. You're with like a group of guys. You're with like a lot of your your friends for life, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that like how much that like turns you into like you make all those friends, and then what you learn from your coaches, how much like you bring that with you off the court, outside of basketball, to work and whatever you do now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's true. It's true. I had such a good experience in high school, and just coaching, you try to like show them that same thing, and like you could tell like when there's a group of guys that they're all like best friends and they get together, like you could see like, all right, they're gonna be successful once they become seniors. And that's what it's all about. Like when they start having like team sleepovers and they're hanging out, they're going to Chili's or whatever after the games. Like that's when you're like, all right, like
yeah,
that's what it's more about than wins and losses. At the end of the day, it's like, are these kids having fun? Are they engaging with each other? Especially right now, like with COVID, like these kids most of them are behind a screen all day. It's like,
it's
it
tough.
really is crazy.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. And this whole COVID thing just it sucks. I hope in some sort of way that, like you said, like you could have one game and that could be it. And
Yeah.
like hopefully you finish out the season. Hopefully your seniors finish out the season. Your juniors finish out the season, because it's important for those kids to especially your seniors. It's your last year. I would not want to end on a pandemic like
I
this.
know. I know. Seriously.
It's tough. But what do you like? What do you look out for the upcoming season? Like, what are you looking forward to?
So So upcoming year, it's going to be tough. We have a really really young group and an inexperienced group that not we only have one returner that played good significant varsity minutes. So we're going to be young. We're probably going to struggle a lot, but honestly, with this year, like we only have 9 games right now on the schedule,
Yeah,
so it's cut more than half.
yeah,
I'm going to really just try to like hone in on. Obviously, like we have to get better for next year. Like it's a rebuild year, but
yeah,
really just trying to get the kids out there. And like most of them have been cooped up in their house for the last 3 months. And like I was texting a bunch of them yesterday after a meeting, and like most of them are like, yeah, coach, I haven't done anything in 3 months. Like I'm not allowed to leave my house. I'm not, like, I
yeah,
don't go to school. Some of them go to school like every other day. But I think just getting them around each other, I think it's going to be a blast. Like whether we have to wear masks and all the restrictions, but I think just kind of going out there, like I have literally no expectations. Like if we get to play a couple games, I'll be happy. It's try to make the best of it.
yeah. That's for sure. I totally agree. You got to make the best of it. Why it's there, and that's awesome that you have that outlook. And it's going to be a way different season than before than any
Yeah,
other season. But
yeah, that's for sure.
yeah, it's shortened, but that's awesome. Now, coach, just a couple more, a couple more questions. What's your favorite thing to do outside of basketball?
So outside of basketball, I'd probably say like, I don't know, watch some Netflix. My fiance is really into CrossFit, so we work out quite a bit. She kicks my butt and
Yeah.
puts me through some CrossFit stuff. So, but yeah, basically just hang out. And I haven't been able to do much. Normally, we'll open the gym, play some pickup with my buddies or playing men's leagues. But yeah, we haven't really been able to do too much. But yeah, for the most part, just kind of relax, hang out with friends.
That's awesome. That's great. And now, who's the better 2K player, you or Coach K?
Oof. I'd probably say I'm better at 2K, but K is definitely better at Madden.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
He uses the Vikings, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen him switch it up, but he's mostly Vikings.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Now, who's your team for 2K?
2K. I kind of we usually do random, like for the drafts, we usually do random, but I'll be the Celtics for the most part if I get to pick, or if I'm like if sometimes we'll do like an all-star game, that's always fun.
No,
Kind of get to freestyle it.
that's really fun. I'm jealous. I gotta. That's
Yeah, you
really
gotta
cool.
come to our team party.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That'd be a good time. Is now the Celtics your favorite team?
Yeah, yeah, for NBA, yep.
What do you think about their outlook of their season this year?
I think it's going to be a change up. I mean, I think, getting Tristan's a great pickup. I think that's kind of like what they really needed the most, like getting another big.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, for the most part, I mean, Jalen's a beast. I mean, I think they'll be pretty good. It's going to be in the mix. It'll be an interesting NBA season. I'm kind of curious to see like how the Nets are going to do now that Kyrie and KD are back. It's going to be a wild season.
yeah, it's gonna be. I wonder if they're gonna stop Kyrie from burning sage before every game.
That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous, like uncalled for.
Yeah, just totally unnecessary.
Yeah, didn't need it.
For that. But they are gonna be. They're kind of. They look. I mean, KD looks pretty almost back to form, like old form, like he hasn't missed.
I know.
It's
I know. I watched a couple of the highlights. His pull-ups are insane.
yeah.
But,
Just dribble up the court and then like pull up.
oh yeah. Yeah, he's like 7 feet just pulling up from threes.
Yeah, it's
Nuts.
crazy. It's crazy. But it'd be an interesting NBA season. I don't know. Hopefully the Celtics make the finals against some team.
I know. I know. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
East is tough.
East is tough. The West is tough. It's going to be I think a tougher season than last year for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But Coach, this has been fun, man. I'm lucky to have you on the show. You're great. I'm excited for you guys' season. Kids are very lucky to have you and Coach K together, and sounds like you guys have a lot of fun. Definitely gonna have to come to a couple games if I'm allowed
Yeah,
to.
definitely.
But
Definitely.
it would be great to catch you guys at a game. And thank you so much for your time and everything.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And great job with what you're doing. We're always talking about in our coaches group chat. You're to talk of us. I think you have like 3 more of us to get through, and then you got through our whole chat. So you're doing great things. So we really appreciate what you're doing.
Of course, anytime, anytime you want to come back on the show too, you're always welcome back on the show. Would love to have you back on down the line during the season, or if you have some time, or even after the season, just do some catch up with you and everything like that. But you're always welcome back on. Once a guest, always a guest is what I say. So anytime you want to come back on, let me know.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
No problem. Have a good one.
See you, man.